Over the past few decades, minorities have been accused of crimes such as rape, theft, illegal possession of firearms, and illegal possession of drugs. And this is all starts with the criminal justice system. The same criminal justice system that's supposed to help us and that's supposed to protect us, but instead it's letting the accusations and the discrimination get the better of them, and they're giving minorities a longer sentencing for something that they didn't deserve, or they're giving them a sentence without parole or bail, and they're giving them a sentence without parole or bail. But they're giving the real threats to society, and they're letting them roam free, either roam free or they're having a parole or they're having bail. As a person who recently had a brother incarcerated and has a current brother incarcerated, it really changes the person and makes them think. What is considered a criminal, and what is the definition of a crime in the eyes of the judge and the jury? And that is one of the negative impacts I have for why the criminal justice system is so unfair. It is the negative impacts on families. Not all families are emotional because of incarceration. A lot of them are because they don't have the justice that they deserve. And one of the families that didn't have the justice that they deserve was the Martin family. 16-year-old boy Trayvon Martin was a boy who was going to the store and got a bag of Skittles and Arizona juice. He was shot and killed by an officer because he was trying to defend himself. The case of Florida versus George Zimmerman, that was the officer that killed him. He was found not guilty. It really took a toll on the family, on the Martin family, because he was a little boy. He was a young man who had a lot going on for himself. And that's another impact that I have on why the justice system is so unfair, because it takes the negative impact on children. Even though that Trayvon Martin was killed, it's also young kids who are incarcerated for survival. And one of the young black kids that were incarcerated was Cyntoia Brown. She was incarcerated for basically defending herself when a 43-year-old man was trying to murder her. And so she had the better of him, and she defended herself. She was a victim of sex trafficking, and she defended herself, and she killed the man. She was sentenced 15 years in prison for a first-degree murder, all because she was trying to defend herself from a man who was trying to throw his body on her. That really took a toll, and it made a trademark on the community. And that's also a negative impact, is the negative impact on the community. Although it is a positive thing for the community to make trademarks and they stand their ground, the negative impact was how it started and how it's going now. One of the biggest trademarks in history was the George Floyd movement. George Floyd was a black man who was arrested for fraud, and he had his knee, and the police officer had his knee on his neck. He was shouting the words, "I can't breathe." It was a big trademark for a lot of people, and it opened the eyes up that the police and the justice system are really unfair. It really took a lot of people to start having signs. They started to riot, and they started to actually make a stand, and they started to push and get their voices heard to make the movement really happen. Then the police officers were charged with murder. So all of them were charged with murder, and it really, really impacted the Black Lives Matter movement. Today it's improved, but it hasn't improved all the way. I really want to have our voices heard, and I really want us to make a change. I want the next few years to be nothing but positive energy, and I want everybody to get their voices heard if they really need to take a stand. It's better if everybody takes a stand than if nobody takes a stand and just let it happen.